Many years ago, I got hold of some letters that were copies of what was supposed to have been sent in to the DHSS or Welfare Department if you're in America. And the grammar isn't too good. And the way some of this put across, like for example, I've had diarrhea through THROUGH, the hole in my shoe. And another one is, and I'm not taking this out of context, my wife has been in bed with the doctor all week. And one of the funniest is, my wife and I are forced to have sex with my neighbour's hole in the wall. Kinky, eh? Good evening and welcome to another exciting show. Guest tonight is Dawn Lester. I hope you didn't mind the smutty gags, Dawn. You know, I mean, you got your smut protectors in your ears, so you're all right there, you know. And welcome. And as I say, you're just up the road for me. You're a fellow Hertfordshire person as well. And
I am.
yes, and you're the. I think you're the health minister for Fockham Hall without a portfolio. So if you find Dawn's portfolio, there we go. No, only joking.
Yeah, lost it.
Right now we're also on Rumble. Let's have a look. Yes, we're on Rumble, and we should also be on, if everything's working well, on Facebook. But as I've been a naughty boy on Facebook and I've been reprimanded, I've been very, very naughty. I've said rude words probably. You never know. A spotty teenager called a fact checker has been around saying, "Oh, we can't get away with that," boom, you know. And I've been slapped wrist, and you know, I've got to send them a note from the parents and that type of stuff, you know. But anyway, on with the show. Okay, have a quick look in chat. Sue loves us in chat. Let's have a look. What we got here? Right, we've got Chris the Gardener. Evening, Eric, Dawn, and everyone in chat. And then we've got evening and all in chat. Looking forward to the show. We're going to tell. Are you going to tell the constipated vicar joke? No. Unless Dawn can have her smut protectors turn the volume up. That would be all right. I might tell the constipated vicar joke if enough people want it, you see. But the first one in chat tonight was at 7:30 tonight, has to go to Paul Green. So there we go. He was the first one, but he will still never beat Bob, who was on, who was it a couple of weeks ago at 6:30 in the morning. That is keen, isn't it?
Definitely.
Then we've got Kat. Hello, Kat. And we hope Jess is well. That's it. We're going to do a little bit of healing before we start the show. So that's coming up. Then we've got, hello, we got Deb. Evening all, can't stay. I'm kitten wrangling. Are you really? With the grandkids, I see. Just popping in to let you know I haven't forgotten about you. Good luck with the show, Chris. Love to all. Oh, and that kind. All love and kisses sent out to Deb as well. And hope the pussycats are okay. And oh, that's very nice. So, oh, I'm glad you got pussycats. And we got here, evening, folks, Ralph Winter. And we've got Kat saying, nice to see you. Hope you are well. Glad you don't forget us. Yes, likewise. So what we're going to do now, let's have a look. Oh, hang on. What's happened? Something's dropped out on my Rumble channel. Has it dropped out? No, it's still going. I don't know. Oh, well. Yes, that's interesting. Anyway,
I'm curious what kitten wrangling is. I've not heard that term before.
We've got his. What's it? Hello, Kat. Fine, thanks. Yeah, Deb. What is kitten wrangling? You know, is it kitten rustling like they do in the cowboy films? And or I don't know. It's strange, isn't it? I don't know. I know what they say in China. that was it. A dog is not just for Christmas. With care, there should be enough left over for sandwiches in the new year. Oh, sorry, it's a terrible joke, isn't it? Yes, we'll try and find out what kitten wrangling is. But yes, it's an interesting one. Yes. Oh, hang on. She's put an answer here. They're all over the place, and I'm trying to control them both.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes, herding cats not easy. In fact, it's virtually impossible, I hear. So yes, controlling kittens is not easy. Fun though, or can be.
Yes. I haven't got any pets apart from Fred the spider plant here and Boris the spider who's in the corner, and that's about it, really. You know.
I call my spiders. I call my spiders Boris as well.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, well, it's that Who song, isn't it? Boris the Spider from Meet a Beaty Big and Bouncy. Yeah.
But I prefer spiders to flies, and you strategically place near the window so it stops the flies coming in. So there we go. You know, that's it. Anyway, on with this show. Let's have a look. Anybody? Yes. We're still live. Yes, we're still live on Rumble, but it all looks a bit quiet on Rumble.
Oh, okay.
Never know, but that's life, isn't it? Right.
Yeah, these channels take a while to become popular and for people to find them. So yeah.
Oh, that's it. Hang on.
Takes time.
Well, I'm new on Rumble, so that's it. Pat says I had a pet called Boris, but he was a Rottweiler.
Ooh, okay.
Yes. But, no, so out of all the pets, I like pussy cats myself. They're very nice, But I couldn't eat a whole one. That's it. That's emotional. Yeah. So there we go. Right.
Yeah.
Now we're going to have some healing, which we haven't done for a long time. We're having to do a program on healing. How we're going to do it, I don't know. I haven't quite worked it out. But this distant healing seems to work. And whilst I'm waffling here, I'm trying to find the tinkly music, which is somewhere. Here it is. And what it is a chap called, and he doesn't know we're going to be doing any healing for him tonight. And here he is. His name's Des Britton. Now, he's very ill. He's not very well. And the big, nasty people are trying to push nasty things on him. And he's refusing. And I think he's in Bath Hospital. That's a place for those of you outside United Kingdom. It's a location called Bath, and he's actually in the hospital there, and he's waiting for an operation, apparently, one that he's got to have. And if we could just sort of send out, doesn't matter if you're watching a recording, we'll send some healing thoughts towards Bath and Des Britton. And again, he doesn't know we're doing this, and it works even so. We play this tinkly music. It's going to come on in a minute now, I think. I hope. Like this, see, we're doing thoughts. He's doing well. Here he is. Healed, and he's going to be fighting fits. And that's it. So we just hope that Des gets better soon. And it does work.
It does. It's the intention as well, setting the intention and putting that energy out. So yeah.
Well, I think that the big problem is I've got to be careful because I'm on YouTube, but the big boys, they all hang on, what's this? Someone sent me a message. Oh well. The big boys, you go into, I mean, when I used to run my parents down to see the quack, they weren't particularly into quacks. They I think you know what I mean. They liked natural things. And it was like a hall of horrors, posters everywhere saying, did you cough last week? You could be suffering from this. Have you got a strange pain in your ear? Well, you could be suffering from blah, 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 And it's all fear, fear, fear. And the funniest thing was the sign on the quack's door. Only one ailment, please. Only one ailment. So So they don't look at the body as the whole, they just look at one thing. So if you had a pain in your foot, the logical thing is your shoes too small? Oh, no. They're changing to all the consultants and everything else like that. They go, oh yeah, crumbs. But none of them would notice that your shoes are a bit too small. You need the next size up. This is
it could be. There could be other things, but the point is thinking that it's the foot, and you go and see the foot specialist. You're missing the point, which is exactly what you're saying, that the whole body is interconnected, and there could be all sorts of reasons for that issue to come out in the foot, and it might have nothing to do with the foot itself. But again, from reflexology, the sole of the foot, they're sort of connected to all the different organs, and that alone should tell you that the body is just interconnected. It's just not this machine of parts where it kind of, oh, you've got a pain in your foot, let's fix your foot and that's it. No, because it might be related to all sorts of other parts that there's something else going on elsewhere, that just that pain is coming out in the foot. So that particular system, what should we call it? Call it the allo system. Yes. Okay, the allo system. It just regards the body as sort of lots of different parts in a machine, and it's just that it doesn't see the body as holistic, and that is one of the main problems, but it's certainly one of the fundamental problems with that system, because it's just doesn't recognize how the body actually works, and what symptoms are, what these things are that they give labels to and tell you've got this particular ailment or whatever. This is just the more you look at it, there's just so much that's unknown. I'm just choosing my words carefully here, so there's sort of big problems with that system, as we know, because we chatted about before.
We need to go. I think we need to do a total Rumble show, but I've got to actually get more of an audience on Rumble first. Where we can say what we want, because I'm getting fed up with YouTube. But the trouble is, you've got to keep on YouTube to get the audience figures up. And what I'm going to say, I mean, you're right. I think that I did an exposure of our system, which was set up or started in 1948, and YouTube liked it so well. They liked it so much they took it down. So, but you see, the founder of our system was William Beveridge, or say founder. No, he designed it. He was the architect of it, and because it was actually they started to put it together in 1942, and it started in 1948. And he was second in command of the Eugenics Society. Need I say more?
Oh, no, not a lot. That speaks volumes as far as I'm concerned. And if people aren't aware of that connection, maybe they'd like to look up eugenics and see who else is involved. And I know a lot of people refer to certain other families, just kind of treading carefully here, certain other families, but in fact it does start in those, but it actually starts in England, not in in Huxleys. I think it's those. Yeah, the Huxleys. I believe that they were certainly there at the beginning of the eugenics movement, but again, these are just different ideas, and they've taken different forms. And the other interesting thing is that the eugenics, because they realized that it wasn't such a good idea and people cottoned on, that they changed it to genetics. And that's now becoming terribly popular. And everyone thinks it's a good idea to think that our genes control us. And of course, that's just that's not proven. And the connection with the eugenics people is something that I think it would be a good idea for people to understand, and then they'd stop being quite so taken by the idea of genetics, and because our health has got nothing to do with the genes unless they're too tight. Sorry, that is just such an old one, but anyway, if you've got tight genes, anyways, it's just it's a rubbish joke. I'll leave the jokes to you. I'm really not going to try them.
But my baldness is to do with the genes, and I changed from Wranglers to Levi's. It's made no difference at all.
Exactly. Well, there's a plug for two big genes companies, but yeah, no, I mean that's the point. That kind of everyone's go, oh, you know, genetics, and go, no, that's another false trail. The same as the invisible enemies, which I'm not going to go into that one because obviously you've got to be careful here. But you know, the invisible enemies, some of them have never been proven to be even exist. But I mean, the other ones are claim to be enemies, but they're not anyway. They're actually our friends. So everything's inverted, upside down, backwards, inside out, and that's where, you know, it's a big deal for some people to really look at things differently. I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and some of the things I was saying, it was like quite a shock. And this was somebody who's been researching all kinds of subjects for years, you know, very much open-minded, and yet still not aware of the deep problems with certain aspects of the you know, the current system, especially the ones to do, you know, the aspects to do with the invisible enemies. You know, that's still a lot of people still aren't aware of that, and that's why it's important to keep sharing the information, because, and it goes back to what you were saying, because most of what's being put out is based on getting people to be in fear. And if you're in fear, then you don't think critically, and you're more likely to follow the rules. And of course, that's the point, to say, well, you know, to get the information out, these invisible enemies aren't your enemies. Don't fear them. And so when people stop being fearful, and they can make different decisions, and they can make informed decisions, as opposed to just following what they're encouraged to believe, which rarely is true. And there's so much of that out in the news at the moment, and certainly with today, with the report that's come out about a particular scandal, so-called scandal, that again, that's all mixed up. You know, there's some misinformation coming out. Now, I'm not saying people weren't harmed, or at the same time, not in the way we're told. So, you know, there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of, you know, emotional charge with these things, you know, because people have been made to be scared because they've got something that's given a label. And then there's me going to say, sorry, that label is not true. Tough. It's tough, you know. Anyway, I've rambled on. But the fear thing is behind. That's why it's important to kind of put this message out about how the body works and how we can take control. And then we're not in the state of fear, because we know how paralyzing fear is.
That's right. That's right. I mean, I believe it was Rockefeller who first put, I mean, how can I put this where I'm not going to get banged? Shall we say the stuff that people put in their mouths is all industry based.
Petrochemicals, yeah.
Yeah. And when you look at it, I mean, I've said this several times before. I mean, when I go for a walk down to I live about 40 minutes walk away from an out of town superstore, and on the way there's a doctor's, and opposite is the chemist, and I see people walking across the road to the chemist and coming out with their little goodie bags. All of them all got their little goodie bags, all walking away from the chemist. Just think of the money spinner all that is, and that's just huge. One area. It's huge, absolutely massive. But when you see the other side of the coin, I mean, my feeling towards, or I can write with doctors, my feeling towards them is that the ones that are genuinely in it to heal people have either retrained to the natural side, or they put their career on hold whilst they speak the truth, or they're just there for the money, or they're charlatans. And I think most of them are narcissists. I really do believe that. I'm so clever. I've got a stethoscope around my neck, and my mum is so proud of me. Look at me. And the whole attitude towards it, where you walk into an office and they're there behind a desk and they've got this computer screen, and they've got the name on plate on the door. It's all, can you excuse my language, bullshit. Absolutely.
A lot of it is ego. Yes, absolutely. And a lot of it is that they've invested so much time, energy, studying the whatever it is that they've had to study in order to get those letters after their name. They've worked really hard, and to be faced with the idea that in fact, what they've learned has nothing to do with health, is quite hard for them. So there's a lot of cognitive dissonance. At the same time, once they know that, of course, they've got to do something about it. So possibly, and again, there are lots of different reasons, but I mean, I would imagine a lot of them are saying, no, I don't want to hear, because then they would have to do something about it. So it's just like, no, leave me alone, because if I don't hear, then I can't take action, because once they know, there is a conscience. Now, I'm not saying they are bad people. They went in. I would imagine the majority went in for the right reason, because they wanted to help people. There's a possible kind of percentage of those that went in for the prestige and the money and the lots of golfing holidays and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's possible. I don't know. So I'm not generalizing. I know that a lot of good people went in to that profession for the right reason. It's just that what they do isn't helping people, genuinely helping people, because it's the wrong model. They've been taught the wrong model, and you just can't make something work when you're starting from the wrong model. And it's tough for them. It's tough for them. I feel for them. At the same time, we're now 4.5, well, no, it's like 4 years into nonsense, and it's time that things changed. And but again, it's not for us to look to them to change it. We have to change it for ourselves and decide what we want to do. Now, I'm not giving anyone any advice. I'm not saying what to do, what not to do. I'm just saying generally, when you take responsibility, you start seeing things slightly differently, and you might want to make different decisions. It's for people to make their own choices.
Well, I think the big problem is linked with profit. That is the big problem. It's an industry.
Oh, yes. From that side of it, yes.
And that's it. I mean, I live in a cul-de-sac of about 12 properties, and there's sort of fields all around. It's quite open. Well, it was before they built a damn great stack of block estate next to me. And what I actually found is that the amount of people with ailments, it's rheumatism and all kinds of things. If they looked in the natural route, I mean, for example, as you may or may not know, but a good friend of mine is Dr. Fleetwood, Miles Fleetwood, and he's read your book, by the way. and he owns a shop in Waltham Abbey, and I often pop along to see him, and I'm trying to drag him kicking and screaming on the show, but he's really is up to his neck in it, because he knows his stuff, and he's qualified in nutrition, acupuncture, and he's what I call a proper doctor. I look on him as my doctor. And the thing with anything natural, what people don't realize is it takes time. It's not an instant fix. It takes quite a bit of time. And I often see him, and when I'm in his shop, it's the right atmosphere. It's an oldie worldy shop. It's a real, low beams. It really is. And it's got a nice healing atmosphere about it. And people go in there with a prescription which they've just picked up, and you can see them shaking with fear. They've had the fear treatment. If you don't have that done, you could be suffering from this and suffering from that. You could have Dutch elm disease. I mean, I thought I did until I found out it's only trees, but you never know. Because look, I mean, all my foliage is falling off. Anyway, and he sort of looks through, and he can read the prescriptions. He knows all and he looks through, and he said, I'm afraid your consultant is doing you more harm than good. And then you could see the pressure that's coming off of them. He said, sit down. I think I can help. Take some time, but we can do something to help. And that type of thing. And It does. I mean, I had blood pressure that was through the roof. When we did our first show with you, my blood pressure was through the roof. I was like,
I think I remember you saying, yeah.
Because when I met you, hello, the computer's gone a bit funny. There we go. There we go. Yeah, when I first met you and David, it was very, very high, my blood pressure. But Miles has got it down. And the thing I don't do, I don't check it with the machine. I know instinctively when it's high, I know what to do to bring it down. And the amazing thing.
I was going to say, sorry, excuse me for cutting across, but that is an extremely important point, is for us to learn to get to know our bodies. The doctor doesn't know our bodies any better than we do. The only person who knows your body is you. You know, each of us knows our own body, nobody else. And that's why some people go in and they get this, whatever it is that, you know, that's told to them, and they just think, no, that doesn't feel right, because they know that, you know. And at other times people just go, because they listen to these so-called experts, and they absolutely refuse to bother to find out what their own body's saying. So as I say, I didn't mean to cut across, but that is such an important point, to listen to your own body and to then know that you can take responsibility, take control, do something about how you're feeling. And quite often it just means kind of taking yourself out of the situation, sitting with it, seeing where you are, and just tuning into your own body, and then being able to make some adjustments. And you can do things like that. And I'm not saying like with severe high blood pressure, I'm not giving advice. I'm just saying that it is possible for us to do more than we're told we can do.
I 100% agree with you. And I think that you're right. We are our own best doctors. And I've actually found that, because I'm very highly sensitive, I'm highly sensitive. I know why the blood pressure goes up, because calm down. And I've now got techniques and things like that. But I mean, it's funny, like we were saying earlier, you know, they only look at one part of your body. Now, I had a dodgy knee. I don't know what happened. I think, you sometimes get a funny joint, funny knee. I don't know what it was. It comes and goes. And Miles said, "Oh, hang on a minute." So he put a couple of needles in my ear. You think your knee, your ear, it's to do with acupuncture. And he said, I thought, oh, well, it hasn't really done much. Woke up next morning, gone completely. But you sit there, and the funny thing is, when he was talking, he forgot he put them in the ear, and I forgot there was that. Almost went home with 2 needles in my ear. Imagine, I'd come shopping around Tesco. I was like, "Hello, he's a bit got needles in his ear, like he's weird."
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't find that surprising at all, because, again, we've got the sort of, the energy fields and the meridians. I mean, obviously, people know about the chakras, but it's not just our physical body. There's our what's called the biofield, our energetic field, which goes out something like 6 feet beyond us. So that should ring a bell to some people, the 6 feet, because that's why we were made to keep apart. So, and there are all kinds of traumas and memories and goodness knows what else that can be discovered in our energy field, and at the same time healed in our energy field. And that's one of the things that I've been learning recently. I mean, it's just fascinating, the work of Eileen McCusick with her biofield tuning, to do tuning forks and to be able to tune people's biofield that then clear physical symptoms in the body. And also there are different parts of the body that have different meanings. So the left knee might not have been because you've got an actual problem in your knee, but it may be an energetic thing. It may be a tie to some kind of memory or some kind of issue or something you're holding on to, or there's all these different aspects of the biofield that shows that our kind of who we are doesn't end at the end of our skin, the energy field. And I think this is a fascinating area, and it's moving into something that some people might think is woo-woo, but I there's so much science. Yeah, I mean, a lot more people are kind of going, oh, no, it's not woo-woo. Yeah, no, I know. And this is the other thing, the more of us that are talking about this, and people go, I've always known that, or they've been doing whatever it is that, they've been looking into this kind of information and working with it, but quietly, because they think everyone will think they're mad. But now this is becoming more widely known and better understood, and we're all learning more about it, that's where we can do a lot of the healing as well. So again, the healing is to do with the energy, and again that connects to our thoughts and mind, our beliefs and all those kinds of things. So like we can talk about placebo and nocebo, how that all affects. So that's all to do with energy. So there's a lot more involved in our health than just the bits and pieces going wrong within the body itself. There's so much more involved. I mean, we can go deeper into that, because I think that was really where you wanted to go with this conversation tonight.
Yes.
Really get deeper into this.
I'm fascinated because I'm also very interested in the what they call it, middle eye, the
third eye.
Third eye.
The third eye, yeah.
Because I think you can heal through that. I really do think you can heal other people with this third eye. And believe it or not, allegedly, something they put in the water, starting with F, fluoride.
Yes,
and
yes.
That calcifies your.
Yes, I've heard that too. Yes. So that's another reason to make sure you have water that is not got stuff in it. So mine's distilled. I mean, that's not the only way. There's different filters and reverse osmosis. Sorry, reverse osmosis. I mean, there are different ways, but it's really important that when you're hydrating, that you're doing it with clean water, truly clean water, because what comes out the tap is not clean. And that's the thing that really stuns me, that they have these so-called treatment centers, and we still have to treat the water before it's suitable for drinking. I mean, it's crazy. But anyway.
Well, yeah. I've actually got a water tester because I use zero filters in there.
Oh, yes, I've heard of those. Yeah. No, I just,
And you can, between you and I, just don't let the audience hear this, but
no,
between you and I, you can buy cheaper ones on eBay. But I haven't told you, But no, you can. And I'm testing them out at the moment. And but with zero water filters, they are fantastic. But the trouble is, I don't know. I don't know what water supply you're on. It's Thames Water. I think it's been passed by the local council by the looks of it. And I've got a water tester. And it comes out 340 parts per million. 340. People say, what are those parts per million? Well, I'd like to know as well, because I don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a Brita water filter takes it down to 240. Takes it down 100. A zero water filter, but a zero water filter, because the water is so bad, only lasts 3 weeks. So what I do, I decant it from the tap into a container that sits overnight, from that through a Brita, and then from a Brita into a zero water filter, and I can get the zero water filter to last about 2 months, because that way it's cheaper, because you save a little bit of money, because Britas are dirt cheap, but they're rubbish. But you
yes, it's funny. I do something similar, like with my distiller, because I mean, the rubbish that's at the bottom of the distiller, if you don't, but I do the sort of first step with a Brita filter, and then we shouldn't be advertising them, should we? We shouldn't be saying them there. But anyway, yes, anyway, so I use a filter first and then in the distiller, and then I don't have to keep then descaling the distiller quite as often. So it's it's kind of we do what works.
Actually, I buy a Brita type, which is from a place up in the Midlands somewhere.
Yes.
It's cheaper than Brita.
Yes.
Better. It distills it more.
Yes, actually, you're right. Because I don't use those either. I think I use a similar one. I think. Oh, I can't remember now. Anyway, yes, it's yes. You can get. Yeah, because the British ones actually are more expensive, and they've got some new some new contraption, a new style.
You pay for the name, basically, and
yes,
we should
but they keep.
get royalties for this, for the amount of names we've been pushing tonight.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Sorry.
it's just. Yes, no, I was going to say. Well, if anyone's interested in a distiller, and I have no financial ties with this company, but the one I use is called Make Water Pure, and it's a UK-based company. If you're interested in a distiller, and I've had good service anyway. So as I say, I don't have an affiliate link for that. I mean, I could, but I don't have, because I'm just it's not about making money. It's just sharing the information.
I agree with you, and I decided I wouldn't drink it, by the way. But I decided to get my I've got some barrels outside to get the runoff from the shed.
Oh, yeah. Rainwater.
So I thought I'm going to test the rainwater, okay? And these barrels are minging. I haven't washed them out for a long time. It's got pigeon poo a lot, okay? You probably. I mean, this could start another typhoid epidemic. I think it's got everything in there. Anyway, I mean, the plants don't grumble, so I'm all right. So I put some water in. I can't remember the exact, but it was. I think it was about 5 parts per million. It came out at. Couldn't believe it. But mind you, those 5 parts are probably lethal. But yeah, 5 parts.
Not necessarily. I mean, if it's just pigeon poo, but I don't know. I mean. That's the other thing, as you say, it's kind of the parts, but what are those parts and how toxic are they? But I mean, 5 is really not much. And then that's the other thing, of course, it's not a question of being like perfectly pure, because the body can handle a certain amount, only it's the healthier the body, the more the body can actually cope with sort of, the everyday stuff that it's exposed to. But when the body is compromised in some way, and there's so many different ways the body can be compromised, that it's harder to then deal with these sort of excess exposures that they're just around. So the healthier you can be, the better able you are, the more resilient you are to these toxic exposures, I suppose, is really what I'm saying. But it's not about being perfect. It's not because that again sets up its own kind of stress. You're like, well, I can't eat this and I mustn't do that and I've got to use this, and that actually defeats the purpose, because then you're so stressed, and that actually can make you ill. So the idea is to just try some things to see what works best for you, see what you like, see what you want to do. The point is to use products that are as natural as possible, with the fewest number of toxic chemicals of various descriptions, and minimizing exposures to excess EMFs. Again, it's not like to be scared. It's not to be scared. It's just go, okay, well, I'll do my best. And if one day you're sitting in front of the computer, you just go, okay, well, I'm just going to go outside and take my shoes and socks off and just ground and be in the sun and hug a tree and things like that, and just ground yourself. And that can clear. Just allowing yourself that time out again reduces the stress. So there's so many different things that we can do to help ourselves despite what's going on.
You're another person. Sorry, I didn't mean to chat in.
No, go on.
I've actually got a grounding sheet,
right,
which I change every season. I don't know. Do you sleep on a grounding sheet at all?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I have heard of them. I know they can be quite delicate. The grounding wires can be quite sensitive and quite delicate, so you have to be careful. Again, I don't know, but I know they are beneficial. I happen to like walking, just sort of going outside and putting my feet on bare feet on bare earth when I can. And it's been a lovely day today, so I've actually been outside in the garden, making the most of it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk.
No, go on.
I cycle barefoot. I'm a barefoot cyclist. Yeah. And people say, "Oh, it's dangerous." No, it's not dangerous if you're careful. Yeah, keeps your feet nice and cool. Might get What you get the weirdo looks like? It's a bleeding weirdo there without any shoes on, you know. What's he doing talking along the road? You know.
Well, yeah, I suppose if you've got pedals that haven't got kind of a too rough a surface, if that's, you know, because I know pedals can. Yeah, I mean, no, that's great to be barefoot. That's fine.
But
You know,
strange thing, I mean, the skin on the bottom of my feet is like an old rhino skin because I walk around barefooted, and I've also got barefoot shoes as well, so that in the winter I walk around with these barefoot shoes, and when your foot is encased in a shoe, the muscles can't move, and I've got a thing called Morton's toe. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. That is where the big toe is shorter than the next toe, where it should be longer. And it's due to having Viking heritage. So
okay.
I don't know. But another one,
I've not heard of that.
Yeah, it's Morton. So anyway, you're very susceptible for getting bunions, which I've got, and you're because and flat foot. That's where and you're very susceptible to that. So walking barefoot is very good for you. But what it is, the skin on the back of my feet, as I say, it's like an old leather. And when I had this blood pressure problem, Miles had to put some needles in the bottom of my feet, you see. And he's trying to distract my attention because most people go, no, you know this. So he's really good acupuncturist. I'm sitting there and he's saying, and he's talking about things, and he goes, puts it in the bottom. And I sort of suddenly went, he didn't even jump. It's like an old rock. Other people sort of, but your feet become like old leather, But I actually forget myself sometimes, and I haven't posted a letter for years. But I went around to post a letter and then realised I didn't have any shoes on. But the only thing I don't know whether you notice is you look down the floor more. I mean, I wouldn't go shopping around Tesco's without shoes on because you get a few funny looks there. But I'll take my shoes with me if I'm cycling. But no, I think that you do look at the floor more when you're barefooted because you don't want to tread on something like a slug or something.
Well, even with shoes.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, even with shoes on, I don't really want to tread on a slug either. But no, I mean, I can understand that there are, certainly if you're out and about in the forest or whatever, I mean, there could be all sorts of prickly things underfoot, so yeah, you do have to watch where you're walking, I suppose. Yeah, makes sense.
Well, that's right. Anyway, shall we have a quick looking chat?
Oh yeah.
Why not? Hang on. Something funny is my computer's got a mind of its own tonight. What's going on? Now we'll have a look in Rumble. Let's have a look in Rumble. It's no, nobody's sort of interested in Rumble, I don't think. Anyway. Well. Anyway, let's have a quick look at here. Camera. Hello, my camera never lies. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is well. I'm a bit late, so please don't tell Eric Von Essex because I'm told, was it because I'm told tired for lines today? Oh, I think, yes. Well, someone has told me, someone stooped on you, lines, please, because she's late, because kind of late people, can we?
Not too many. Not too many. Just a few.
Right. And Caroline Murphy said, hello, all, just joined and trying to catch the jest. Yes. Oh, you missed the smutty gag at the beginning. Never mind. It wasn't a gag, was it? It was from DHSS letters. Right. Stephen Truthseeker, hello. And we've got camera. It's the same as any government body, department. A lot of people join for the right reasons. Those people either turn to the dark side or leave entirely, depending on the level of their morality.
Yes. Good point. Yeah, true.
Excellent point. I mean, I actually worked alongside, I've never been a civil servant, but worked on a project that was a contract bloke, No, actually, freelance in architecture. and we are the lowest of the low, because we do about 3 or 4 projects a year, you know, and clear off, and we're always asked in when there's something's gone wrong. And I worked alongside some civil servants. It's a mindset that is beyond belief. With a civil servant, a good civil servant is seen to be doing, but doesn't exactly do anything, but is seen to be doing. And
okay.
same with MPs. Good MPs seem to be doing, but he's delegating everything and doesn't really do very much himself or herself or whoever it is, you see. But I don't vote, so I don't really care. The certain industry, which I won't mention on YouTube,
doesn't create the C word. Yeah. Another, yeah, absolutely. 100% agree. Yeah.
And the amount of people that's having metal bits put in them, where people like Miles can cure these things. You know, bits of metal bits in their knees and arms. I mean, I've got a neighbour that hobbles along. He's had a knee put in. He doesn't hobble now, but to me, that's something alien in your system. You can do well without. I mean, it's a bit like I've got glasses. I only wear them for the computer, but I'm trying to exercise my eyes so that I won't need them, and I'm doing eye exercises, so which they don't teach you at school, which they should teach you. You know,
and yeah, sorry, I'll carry on.
Yes,
I was going to say we can go back to that, because there's a, you know, because that really is the theme of this discussion of what we can actually do about these things and how we're indoctrinated to believe a certain way, and that isn't actually based on truth. But what you can do is, by believing this particular way, which is not the correct way, you can actually manifest problems. Even something like eyesight. Now, I sometimes wear glasses, especially for reading or close work or whatever, but I've taken them off because I'm now working with the change in my ideas to say my eyes are healing. So again, it's putting out the intention and the energy, as well as doing what I can do to, I should say, exercise my eyes, which is not to always wear them. So, you know, to make my eyes work, but also not to believe that, oh, well, you know, once you wear them, they will only get worse. You know, these are belief systems and ideas. And again, I'm not telling other people what they should do. I'm just trying this for myself, because the only way you can find out if it works is if you actually do it for yourself. And it's just that, you know, our beliefs and ideas are really so powerful. I mean, we know about the placebo effect, and the opposite is, you know, the what's called the nocebo effect, and that's incredibly powerful, that people can manifest all kinds of symptoms in the same way that people can manifest, you know, if they take a placebo pill, they think they're taking something to help them, they can actually manifest beneficial outcome. Whereas the nocebo effect, you can actually take something that is inert and then manifest some kind of symptom. So you can have a detrimental outcome from something that should have no physiological effect. So this is where the mind comes in, and our belief system, and our all of the sort of psychology, and that's really where they're trying to manipulate us at the moment to make us believe certain things, especially about these so-called invisible enemies, because that's the kind of the main thing, and about those as well. And so when we kind of go, just if we can learn that that's not all true, and then go, okay, well, fine, and then sorry, excuse me, you're less likely to manifest. I mean, I've got some information that I can share about this. I'm going to have to be careful. I'm going to have to be careful with the words I use, because this is mainly to do with a particular condition that has. It's just like going back to my youth, kind of when I was young. They, you know, a certain word wasn't used, and you know, it was the C word, and it's now back in. You know, we can only say the C word, whereas, you know, it's and for anyone who doesn't know what I mean, I'm talking about the the star sign that's got something to do with a crab.
Yes.
I'm sure a lot of anyway. So
That's
there's a sorry,
that's nicely put. It's well put. That is the star signs associated with the crab. That's good. That one.
There's an organisation, the Institute of Noetic Sciences. It's run by Dean Radin, who's a professor of integral and transpersonal psychology. I mean, some people may know of Dean Radin and some of his work, but they produced a document. I can't remember what year it was, but anyway, it was a while ago, called Spontaneous Remission, an annotated bibliography, I beg your pardon, that they call the large, I'm reading from here, the largest database of medically reported cases of spontaneous remission in the world. And what they mean by spontaneous remission is the disappearance, complete or incomplete, of a disease or the C word without treatment, or with treatment that's considered inadequate to produce the resulting disappearance of symptoms or the lumps that they give a word that they call a T word. So just being super careful here. So what they're talking about is the disappearance of symptoms with no treatment in the standard system of so-called care, and yet there's no reason in that system for these symptoms to have just gone away. And again, spontaneous doesn't mean necessarily overnight, and like you said, sometimes these things take time, but they can actually be a lot quicker than the standard kind of understanding of things. So again, the time factor will depend on everything else that's involved and what people do, how they think. But what is particularly is the reason for this is in this. I mean, you can find this sort of online. It's on noetic.org. I think that's their website. But people can look it up, the Institute of Noetic Sciences. It's on one of the pages, they've got some of characteristics associated with remission and survival that the C word survivors are reporting. Now, there's a list of, I think it's 7 or 8, something like that. But there are 2 in particular that I think are quite significant. And one of them, so is it okay if I just read them out? Yeah, okay, good. I mean, then it's not too long. It's like, so hopefully people won't fall off asleep. It's it's just not too long. But I just think it shows how important this is from a scientific background, not just, because I'm saying it. So it's a change from dependency to autonomy combined with activities, attitudes, and behaviors that promote increased autonomy, awareness of themselves, others, and their environment, love, joy, playfulness, satisfaction, laughter, and humor. So that's one of them. And these are the characteristics of people who are getting through this so-called things that they're not. Yeah, these problems that are called
sign of the crab.
Yes, well, those, but also they're given the label incurable, that kind of thing. So, and the second one, again, quite short. So, and the other thing is these characteristics are taking control of their lives, and then bracket personal, professional, emotional, spiritual, and medical, and living each day fully combined with a willingness to evaluate their beliefs and attitudes and change old beliefs and attitudes that are no longer appropriate or adequate. And for me, those 2 paragraphs just sum it up, how we can and do by taking control, we can change the health of our body by doing this. So I mean, it's not just sitting there and thinking, just, oh, well, I'll change my beliefs. It's the actions that you then take. And I thought it was really interesting that, that the love, joy, playfulness, satisfaction, laughter and humor come into it as well. So it is about joy. It's about having fun. It's being uplifted and feeling fulfilled and feeling satisfied and just having this joy. And that comes from the heart as well. So it's not, just sort of the mind thing. And it's the opposite way from the way everything seems to be going at the moment. So this is how we can shift it by kind of, well, we're not going to go down these doom and gloom scenarios. No, it's not pretending things are horrible. So it's not kind of just doing what's called spiritual bypassing. So we have to, see what's going on and what we can do something about. And if we can't do something about it, we can do something about ourselves. That's the one thing that we can do something about. And that's where the responsibility and then changing your attitude and having a look at what's going on in your life, changing your perspective and living from a place of joy and love and satisfaction and playfulness and laugh. When you're like that, you feel better. And again, this comes to the energy. You're radiating that out, then other people feel it, and that just kind of ripples out. And so that's where some of these solutions come from, by starting from the right place within. Because when you're all knotted up and stressed, I mean, your blood pressure goes up, you can't function, you're not well. Whereas if you can find ways to lower that, you can feel happier, you can feel, you can enjoy your life more, and that then spreads it out because you're more likely to you will interact with people in a different way, so they'll pick up on your energy. And it is the joyful energy that will overtake the miserable energy, I think, generally.
Absolutely spot on. I couldn't agree with you more, because also I've noticed, now I'm probably going into woo-woo land, what people might think, I do believe I'm not religious, but I do believe there's demons. I do believe there's things that we cannot see. And when people are very ill, it's as if a demon has got into them, and it's being really evil. And a very nice person could be ill, and I mean very ill, and they're like a demon goes into them. And you notice, for example, look what's happened to our society over the last couple of decades. They've stopped our humour. There's no, I don't have a television. I don't watch a television.
Me neither.
Last time I saw a television, what was it, 14 years ago, I think it was, and I thought I'd lost my sense of humour. There's nothing funny on there, just they have that false laugh, sort of, that sort of BBC false laughter. And it's all pointing at you as if, you're driving down the road and you've got speed cameras looking at you. You're a criminal. Mustn't park there. You're a criminal, And all the time you've got Big Brother pointing down at you. That is stress. That's winding it up. And I've noticed more and more everything is timed. Go to park your car. You've only got an hour. You've got to watch your clock. And I would prefer to walk a long distance and park somewhere free than keep watching and things like that. And I think that is deliberate to make people ill. I really do believe that. And it seems it's just. Is that like a demon that's running it? I don't know whether you found that. I mean, I know, but humour, that's the thing. That's what got people through World War II, humour. They laughed. I mean, I had 3 uncles that were stand-up comedians, and I'd be actually in pain with laughter. They were cracking gags all the time. It was so much. You had to almost believe with them to stop because you're in so much pain laughing. That's the pain I like, pain of laughter, But going back in here, going back into chat, that's all right.
Sorry, yes, I jumped in around that, didn't I?
Don't worry, no, it's what the show's all about, it doesn't matter where we go. We've got here.
It's in the
Thinking
water.
of drinking my own wee. We don't have to, just drink Thames water, and you're drinking what Birmingham passed last week. That's well.
No, there's a lot more in the water than just urine, and that's a whole other subject if you want to get into that.
Yes,
But
I've heard of
probably
that.
not. But yes, I mean, there are a lot of people who are saying, talking about urine therapy.
Yes,
But
I've
I
heard of
don't
that.
know. I don't know if that was a serious. I don't know if that's a serious comment or just a, you know,
I think he's having a bit of a
or a
laugh
bit of fun. Oh, okay.
because you're talking about, is it Dave? Allegedly, Dave. He drinks his own wee wee, doesn't
Yes, yeah, yeah. I was going to say
he?
there are quite a few
Yeah,
people. Yeah.
lovely. I don't think so. I'm not sure. I know a bit of difficulty with that. I don't know.
Well,
I might give it a try. Might do it live on the So, yeah. Hang on.
well, I mean, drinking's not the only use for it. Apparently, there's all sorts of things you can do, like rubbing it on your skin and stuff. So, I mean, yeah, there are lots
I
of
actually
people
do
doing
that.
all sorts of. Okay.
Seriously. If I got a cut, I'll put wee wee on it.
Oh, okay.
So no, seriously, I'll put wee
Yeah.
wee on it. It heals it much quicker.
I think for stings as well, it's it is the and if I remember rightly, I mean, if you're bitten by something out in the wild, that's one of the things to use. So because unless you've got a first aid kit, but again, you need to know what you're doing with different herbs or plants to know what's the appropriate one depending on what you've just been stung or bitten by. But yes, apparently your own urine is can be useful. But anyway, I don't think we want to go necessarily too far down that one. But I mean, it sounds weird, but I think we have to be more open-minded about these things
Well, the
and say,
Aborigines.
yeah, a lot of. Yeah, a lot of other cultures have all kinds of habits that we think are weird, but they don't have the white coat habit that we've been sort of brought up with, and the white coat habit does not actually produce health. So, we shouldn't be laughing at them when they're with their different ideas, because again, nature is more powerful than what comes out of certain industries.
Well, it's, the other thing is you can put planting, I believe, on wounds and things like that. Planting is what grows in wild.
Yeah.
You chew it up. You apply that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
there
are lots of different things. I was going to say, there are lots of different things. It's not just, there's only one thing. There's just a whole load of different plants that can be used in different ways to help. I mean, that's the basis of homeopathy as well.
Well, that's right. Yes, I'm a great believer in that as well. But urine therapy, I mean, again, I'll put that on. If I cut myself and that, I'll put that on. And in Vietnam War, they used to, if somebody got injured, they used to urinate on the wound because that was the only clean water that was around in the jungles. So and it worked because the salt in it is healing. But
well, yeah, I was going to say one of the things was that I used to be of the opinion that it was, that the kidneys were a filter, and so it was waste. So the urine was a waste. But I've been corrected on that. It's not. It's an excess substance. The waste actually goes out the other end.
Yes. Also, if you
which is why sewage isn't good, because it is waste, but urine isn't waste apparently. So yeah, I'm learning. These are things I'm still learning. Yeah, sorry, I beg your pardon.
That's interesting because it's they reckon that a lot of these ointments have got urine in them, so it's or an ingredient of urine.
Urea, yes, urea is an ingredient of various different, but I don't know how natural that is or whether it's synthesized. Again, you've got to be careful.
And
sorry, you were about to show. Yeah, go on.
I was going to say, if you water it down 20 to 1, and I would not do this in the summer or when the flies are around, water it down 20 to 1, it makes a very good fertilizer for plants, but you've got to water it down 20 to 1. But the trouble is, you've got to do I only water the plants at the top of my garden with it because it attracts flies. That's the downside.
Really?
But yeah, but this is what they do in the fields. There's these organic farmers in America, they do it. But of course, if it's miles away from your house, that's fine. But if you just do it too close to your house, you get swarms of flies because they can smell the urine, even though it's watered down 20 to 1. We can't smell it, but the flies can.
No, but why would the flies be attracted? I don't know. Okay. I wasn't aware of that. I'll have to look into that. Yeah.
Yes, but please look at it. It does work.
Oh yes, I've heard of. Yes, no, I know of using urine for fertilizer. Yes, no, I'm absolutely aware of that. Yes.
Do your indoor plants with it. You won't smell it. Don't get me wrong, but it'll attract the flies in there. You open the window and all the flies are coming. Because I actually water my indoor plants with it, and I was absolutely swarms of flies coming in. So no, I won't do that again. But what I do is I put banana skins in rainwater and leave it for a couple of days. And that is marvelous fertilizer. But trouble is that attracts ants.
Okay. Yes, I was going to say I've heard of different plants being able to use the water, seep them in the water, and then use that water as fertilizer. So yeah, no, I mean this is what I'm saying. There's all sorts of natural things that we can use. We don't need to buy the products that have these toxic synthetic chemicals in them that actually aren't helpful and in fact are harmful in most cases. Certainly, like yeah, no, I was going to say I probably shouldn't say that word either. But yeah, the toxic chemicals, I think a lot of people are familiar with. So,
well, actually, I mean, I've got an azalea plant in my front garden. My neighbour said, "Oh, you want to put grow more or something in it?" And I looked at what was in it, and it was basically it was like a chemistry set. And I found out azalea is like an acid soil and tea is acidic. So I put the contents of tea bags around its roots and it grows like wildfire. Yeah.
Wonderful.
And conifer. My neighbour's got conifers. I cut her conifers back because they come over my fence. I put I shred it up and put that round it. It turns the soil acidic. Of course, they love acidic soil. So azaleas will grow like wildfire. Yeah.
Ooh, so wonderful.
Little something. Now we got here. So you cycle in Birmingham then, Chris, judging from the accent you just did. No, my bicycle's but no, actually my bicycle was made in Northern Ireland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, I'm a bit of a weirdo because I've not got one bicycle, I've got 6 and 2 cars. Okay. But they're all wrecks. No, I mean this is something I was needed to say. Yes, if you're a classic car owner, and I am, I've got a 1989 Carina. There's only, I think, 5 or 6, not Corolla, Carina, which is a little bit rare in this country. What the government are thinking of doing is, if you say, supposing you repair it, suppose there's a great big rust hole in it, and you repair it. The part is then a new part, and it has to be assessed. Well, in the future, they're thinking about this, implementing it, having an assessor come along to assess whether the car is new or not because you put a new part on it. So they are trying to get rid of classic cars. I mean, and do you know what it is? It's destroying history. Because once you've destroyed, because I believe that cars got to their peak in the 1980s. They didn't go wrong much in the 1980s, and then they declined from there on. Might be right early 90s, but from there on, get all computerized stuff in it and things like that. No, but with my Carina, you can repair bits on it, and that's what they don't want. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's lunacy, isn't it? So if you replace a wing in the car, you've got to they're thinking about it. Well, you have to have a professional assessor to see whether it makes the car new, in which case it can't be a classic car. Again, it's getting classic cars off the road. It's
crazy.
It is. But no, I was going to say, I've got a rare bike. It was made in Northern Ireland, and it's a Triumph. It was made in 1950, I think it's 1953. And you can tell it's the back, but it's actually made by Raleigh, and they put a Triumph stamp on it. but it's very rare because it's got this Sturmiata rear gear, which is the original, and dropped handlebars. It's a racer, so it's a rare bike.
Oh, okay.
So I can go like this, and the motorist can say, "Hello, you've got 2 wheels on your bike, and there's 1 person on board." You know, that type of thing. Very nice. You know, look, there's Richard Head coming past. You know, they're very polite to you. You know. Oh, by the way, I do not wear the cyclist outfit. I'm jeans and t-shirt, man. A bare feet.
Right. Oh, okay. Okay. So you don't wear the like you don't do lycra then?
No, and I don't buy fruit
Okay.
down the trousers like they do. I think why they go shopping for fruit. I don't understand that. Anyway, I'm a very, very naive person, as you can tell. We weren't born with shoes or socks on. Well, they're letting a child up to the age of, I think it's 7. It should not wear shoes. That is the thing. Excuse me, I'm not looking in your ear every now and then.
Yes.
No. I'm just seeing what's any action on Rumble. No.
Oh. Well, they've missed over an hour.
So hello in live chat on Rumble. Now we got here. The power of the mind is an awesome thing, and I know that the Jubits, they did experiments in their camps where I think they told someone that they're going to put a red hot poker on their wrist, and instead they put ice, and the skin crinkled up as if it had a red hot poker on it, even though it was ice.
That's what I mean about the nocebo effect. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Although it's much more than just an effect. I mean, it's far more powerful. It's called the nocebo effect, but it's way more than just an effect like that. It's incredibly powerful. So absolutely, and it is awesome. And that's what I believe would be a good idea for more people to master, to understand and learn what we can do with it, how powerful we are, as you know. And again, kind of, I'm not going into the spiritual thing, but I mean, we are, this human existence is every bit as much spiritual as any other type of experience. It's not a lower form of existence. It's a very important aspect of existence for all sorts of reasons. But I believe what we're going through now is for us to learn what we can do, and to actually say, no, we are responsible for our own experiences, and then say, okay, well, now we're responsible. Hey, what can we do? Let's put some, joy and playfulness and love, and let's get rid of all this darkness and start having some fun and enjoying ourselves. No, it's not. I'm not doing Pollyanna stuff. It's not, like I say, I'm not ignoring the horrible stuff that's going on. It's to recognize what that's there for, and to actually say, do we actually have to have that in our world, and why is that there? What is it telling us? It's telling us that things aren't right, and we need to change how we are, so that we can kind of make things how we want them to be, because we don't want all this conflict and war and death and destruction and division and argument, and there's just so much conflict and darkness going around. I don't think that is how it has to be. In fact, I'm sure it isn't how it has to be. And it's a question of, okay, well, what can we do about it? Well, so it's learning what we can do about it. And a lot of that is to do with understanding what we can do in terms of taking control and responsibility for ourselves, and then putting that out and sharing that with other people. Because once you're out of a state of fear, you can start thinking of, and people can start being creative and think of ways and think of solutions and say, well, let's try this other way. And there isn't just one solution of, oh, let's not do this, but let's do this instead. No, there's lots of solutions, and people are coming up with all sorts of ideas, creative ideas of what to do, how we can live differently, more in freedom. So living more freely, living where we collaborate. So again, recognizing we're individuals and collaborate. So it's that the whole idea, because a lot of people say, oh well, doing everyone all together is like communism. Well, it can be, but it doesn't have to be. So we recognize we're individual, and we work to our skills and talents, each one of us, and then collaborate, and then work as a team instead of fighting each other and having all this, oh well, my idea, your idea. Just let's work out ways of having a conversation, not being divided, and let's work together and see what we can do, because that's the one thing that people who like control don't want us to be doing, which is finding out what we can do and taking responsibility for ourselves, working together. And that's why there's all these different agenda aspects of how to divide us, whether it's well, there are so many different ways. I mean, just everything really, all aspects of life, of how they can divide us, whether it's politics and religion, or whether it's this gender nonsense, because there really are only two of them.
Yes.
And however, but to say, oh well, and not to even make man and woman to be, oh well, we're different, therefore we have to fight. No, we're different, and let's see what we can do when we work together to work to our strengths. If we each work to our strengths, we are that would just be so amazing. So yeah,
I think what you're talking
anyway,
about
that's
is
rant over. But yeah,
I mean, I think we need to go back to prior to the Industrial Revolution, because now we've got machines that can make machines and things like that, and computers and things, as it's industrialized. And when you go back to, say, prior to the Industrial Revolution, in a village, it's okay to look through back the rose-coloured spectacles. Nothing was perfect, but there's no such thing as unemployment as such, because everybody had a role. There was the grave digger, there was the baker, there was the butcher, everybody was fitting into this particular role, and it was a natural community that formed. What they're trying to do with communism, you get an unnatural community because it's controlled by the government. You will live there, you will be next to these people, and everybody will get on. No, they won't. And I think that things develop naturally, and that is the thing, and that was the core of the culture of this country and many other countries as well, and that's being completely eradicated. Like, for example, with architecture, up to about 1914, most of the hospitals that were built were surrounded with beautiful countryside, or surrounded with gardens, because it made people feel good. They would walk in, and if they were not feeling very well, they'd have the birds singing, trees and flowers. It just make them. But now it's concrete. Everything is just absolutely awful. I mean, I've worked on the design of hospitals, and believe me, it's soul destroying, because it's just concrete and just ice cold.
Well,
Like
that's in. Yeah, but that's in the name of being sanitary, so called, because it's it's all the word I'm trying to think of has just gone out my head.
Clinical.
Yeah, well, yes, but it's sterilized. It's like a sterile environment, which is not conducive, because I mean, anything that's sterile means there's no life in it. So they think, oh, it's good because it's sterile, because then they're getting rid of the invisible enemies, and go, well, that's the wrong way to do it. Whereas, like you say, with being outside, being able to take shoes and socks off and walk in the lawn, look at the look at the flowers, the plants, whatever it is, the wildlife, listen to the birds, sit under a tree, hug a tree. But I mean, sit under a tree, listen to the birds, look at the birds, just sit. And I mean, that's just so soothing and so inspiring, and just so nourishing in all sorts of levels. I mean, yeah, but these concrete structures are there because they're supposed to be safe. Yeah, because they're sterile. But I mean, they're sorry.
Everything is for your safety. For example, I've been a naughty boy on Facebook for the community's safety. So, you know, I did something wrong for the and when you go into a store, they say, for your safety, we have cameras. Does that mean if the cameras weren't there, the roof's going to fall in on your head or something? Or something might fall off a shelf and hit you on the head? I mean, why is it for your safety? No, they think you're a criminal. That's the reason they got the cameras there. They're frightened you're going to nick something, which I wouldn't. You know, and this is what annoys me. You got all these big brother looking at you. You're a criminal, you're a naughty person, and all that sort of thing.
Well, that's the opposite of true law, which is, you know, innocent until proven guilty, but it's now being turned the other way. And as you say, you know, it's like a presumed guilt, you know, because you're in there, so we're watching you. Oh, it's not you, but it's the people who, well, don't watch me then. If you know, anyway, yeah, it's nonsense, and we know that. And yeah, it's finding ways not to live in fear of that, and just finding ways around it, and just say, no, this isn't. It's to recognize that that's not a good way to live, because that's not free. You know, if you're constantly being spied on, and so we want to live in communities, communities where people collaborate, like you're saying, those sort of old type villages where we can just live freely with other people, doing our own thing, and freely exchanging with other people, and just, you know, because I mean, there was a time when people used to leave their doors open. I mean, not even just unlocked, but open. You know, it's like, because it wasn't a problem. But no, suddenly this trust, again, this kind of trust has been eroded. I don't think it's been lost. We've been made to not trust others, and also not trust ourselves, because that's the other thing. Learn to trust yourself, and then when you trust yourself, you kind of, well, you can trust others as well, or you can learn. You know, you can use your intuition to, you know, kind of with who you're with, and know that, you know, I mean, the vast majority of people are decent. I believe that they are. They're just misguided. They're just misguided and misled and misinformed. So yeah.
As Crystal Gardner says, we've all got our own sense of reality, our own perception of reality, of what is actually happening. And I think that 99% of people are very nice, I found. It's how you approach them. And I think that we do have psychopaths in control, positive of that, you know. And with your book, What Really Makes You Ill, I actually can sum that up. Is if I see a picture of Tony Blair, I feel nausea, a kind of sickness comes over me, and thinking about him, I'm going to throw up now. In fact, a sick bag wouldn't be big enough; it'd have to be a bucket, I think, with him, you know. But I like what you said in your book. You said we don't have an immune system; it is a repair system. Very interesting. That is very interesting.
Yeah, because there's nothing to fight. There's nothing to fight, so the body doesn't have anything that fights something. What it does is it looks after itself. It repairs it. You know, so if you cut your finger, it'll send blood and repair materials to that, and you know, it goes red and go, oh, it's inflamed. No, that's part of the healing. I mean, it's only if it's gushing blood you want to cover it just until it stops gushing, because otherwise you just drip red everywhere. But you know, apart from that, you don't want necessarily, again, I'm not giving advice, but you know, generally you don't want to cover, you don't want to put things, you know, stuff on it to disinfect it, because the body will clear it of its own accord, if you you know, in its own way. Because if you're healthy, the body knows what to do to send repair stuff.
And also, between you and I, if you put cayenne pepper on it, it'll send you back right up to your elbows, but it'll actually help to clot it. And again, I'm not giving medical advice.
No,
put cayenne pepper there, say on your finger, sometimes it won't stop bleeding if it's on the end of your finger or somewhere.
Right.
So
Yes.
I'll pepper on, and then it'll
Sting.
clot. It'll stop. Yes. Well, more thing,
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. There are various different ways and different and a few different kind of cultures will have slightly different substances, natural substances, herbs, plants, whatever it is that they use for certain situations. And it's not that any one of them is right, any one of them is wrong. It's just, you know, different things that people can do that are natural. And again, you know, depends on what you've got growing near you. So, you know, if you've got certain plants that you can use. I mean, one of the things like for burns is, you know, the aloe vera. So if you've got an aloe vera plant, you know, and that's amazing. That's really cooling and helps stop the, you know, the real sort of serious kind of, yeah. I mean, the first thing is, you know, kind of to get it cold. So run it, yeah, but then a tap, yeah, you don't want to put it under the tap. But anyway, as I say, I'm not giving advice either, but there are lots of different things that you can do that are natural. It's just the idea that, you know, just by sneezing you've got to go and see a white coat is how we've lost our autonomy, or we've had it trained out of us.
It's a cult.
Yeah, but and it's a cult that we've been made to believe in, and to actually stop trusting ourselves. So that's the other thing, you know. So again, that goes to the trust, because I mean, none of this is, you know, sort of, these aren't separate issues. They're all interconnected. You know, it's like, of course it is, because it's just.
Sorry, I'm looking at your ear.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. It's. I mean, everything is interconnected. How can it not be? So all these topics, they're just all interlaced, and so yeah, you know, to trust ourselves. And it's not like, oh, suddenly you've got to wake up tomorrow and everything's fine. Well, no, but it is a process, and the more we do that, the stronger we get, and kind of start realizing what's going on, and then you have conversations with people, and that will just, you know, keeps spreading out. And again, with the conversations rather than debates, so have a conversation, and even if it's with somebody who's got a completely different view, there's nothing wrong with sitting down and say, okay, well, this is my perspective, that's yours, let's see where the differences are, and if there's any way of seeing if we can kind of clear why we see things differently. Or you can end by saying, well, I still feel the same, you still feel the same, that's fine, but we've had a decent conversation, instead of an argument where one of us has got to be right, you know, because that's the thing, the indoctrination with the, you know, so-called school system of, you know, you either get a tick or you get a cross, you know, you're either right or you're wrong. Well, there's shades, you know, it's not always black and white, there's different shades and nuances, and certainly a lot of nuances with all these different topics. So, you know,
so all these tests they're pushing out. Oh, you need a test for this, test for that, test for this, test for everything else. You know, if I get anything
meaningless,
I actually it just sort of bounces off the table straight into the rubbish bin. Boing, you know. And the thing is that it's all putting that fear into you all the time. And
absolutely.
And again, it is definitely, without a doubt, a cult. This kind of cult sense, it's this sort of smugness, that kind of smug. Oh, we know everything, of course, you know, because I'm highly educated. I know all this. Bovine excrement. It really is. It's the total. And why is it that you know, when you look around these hospitals and that, I was only ever been to hospital once, and that was a couple of years ago, and I had this high blood pressure. And I went in there, and when I came out the next day, I swore I'd never go anywhere near a place like that again, because the incompetence was unbelievable. Everybody's swanning around with a bit of paper, looking important, and all got uniforms on, and you're treated like a kind of spare part for a car, you know, you know, and it's because look at blood pressure, for example, it's going up and down all day. I mean, if you just run around the block, then it will be high. And then if you've just got out of bed in the morning, will it be very low? and it's like that, and you have a test just at that point. It's just bonkers. It should be again, yourself, whether it's high, whether it's low, what to do, you deal with it. And I think that it seems strange that the life expectancy, did you know the life expectancy, this was Dr. Joel Wallach, I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, dead doctors don't lie. Do you know what the life expectancy of a doctor is? The average age?
It's lower than the average, yeah.
Yeah, it's about 56. Die around about that low. Yeah, they don't live very long. Now that's interesting, isn't it?
Yes, was it Dr. Heal Thyself? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
The other thing is that, like with blood pressure, it's an effect, and it's an effect of something else. So it's you deal with the something else, and then the blood pressure changes. But it's not that you have to change the blood pressure reading, because you've got to change the cause. Because otherwise, you can't just change the effect. You've got to look at the cause. And white coats aren't trained to look at causes, or well, they're looking at the wrong causes, shall we say, or they're trained to look at the wrong causes.
I think a lot of them, and I'm going to get myself into trouble now, a lot of them are perverts, and because they like groping people, and a lot of them, there is something mentally wrong with them. I really do believe that, because they're sadistic. I mean, a friend of mine, sadly she passed away now, she had the big C, and when she went to see these consultants, it was, get your estate and things into order, because I don't think it's going to last more than such and such a month. And all this, and it's that, to me, is like the Aborigines did the pointing the stick ceremony.
Yeah, that's called medical hexing. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. And they go, people go away and die, and they do.
Yeah. And then the white coats think that, oh, well, we got it right. Well, no, you actually put that on that person because that person believed you, and so they followed your orders. So they did orders, but I mean, they followed your pronouncement and did as expected, and only lasted however many months. When, as I've read out, this changing from dependency to autonomy, the whole way of changing how your thoughts, your attitudes, your behaviors, taking control of your lives, leads to what's called spontaneous remission. So you don't have to take their belief system on board. And there are plenty of people who've had that kind of message from somebody in a white coat, and has actually, or maybe not a white coat, because the consultants wear suits, they don't wear white coats, do they? So they have their suits, and they've actually said, well, I mean, in their own, not necessarily to them, because they probably get a probably rude reply, but they've basically in their head said, well, okay, that's what you say, but I'm just going to go off and live my life, thank you very much, and go off and carry on living their lives, because they've got these characteristics that, like I've read out, as I say, that's only 2 of about 7 or 8. And the others are similar. It's just about your whole attitude, how you approach everything. And because these are belief systems, a lot of them are belief systems, they can be changed, because if something is a belief, it's not a fact, and because it means it can be changed. You can change your perspective. And again, as was mentioned before, our experiences are determined by our belief system. So if you change your beliefs, you can change your experiences. So you don't have to stay stuck. And it's not always easy, and it's not like, oh, well, it's as easy. No, it's not. It's a process, and we learn and we change and we shift, and life's a journey. It's not a, there's no, it's not a kind of, it's not a kind of, oh, done that, tick that off, okay, what's next? It's an ongoing journey, and the more you do, the more you get the results, and the more things improve, and then you go, oh, this works, so you carry on and find what does work, what doesn't work, look at how you think about things, how you feel about things, and just keep working on this life, this journey, and shifting your experiences through how you think about things. So that's why the power of the mind is awesome. And again,
Well, as I
That's
said,
what it's
if you've
about.
got one of those machines which tells you blood pressure, you put it on my wrist, it'll go through the roof. No,
Well,
I know, in your own mind about things, and I think that also there is. How can I put this? It's all a big business, and as it says, as we got here, I certainly get a fever when this is camera says, I certainly get a fever when I see the white coats in my doctor is actually pretty good. He wouldn't want to take his poisons either. His words.
oh,
Oh,
interesting.
yeah. I told him I don't like to take any things.
Yeah.
I actually, Cameron, you live near Chris the Gardener. I wonder if you go to the same quack as he goes to, because he's got a good one as well. Because
See, there are some.
Camera and Chris the Gardener live in a different country. It's called Norfolk.
Oh,
You got to have a passport to get there, but
I've been there. Well, I've been to parts of it.
I've been well, all of me went there. Yeah, I've been there, and but no, actually, Chris the Gardener, he's actually got a Fockham Hall mission there called Norfolk in Chance. Think about it. Just how Norfolk anyway. You have to think about that one.
Yes, okay. Yes, got it. Yep, dropped, penny dropped. No, because again with the hesitation, you got to go like, okay, take the gaps out to go. Oh, right, yes, okay, yeah. No, I'm with you.
Nothing rude to that.
Not at all.
The mission is to treat the primitive people of Norfolk who still believe in wearing face nappies. You see, so his mission is to, help the primitive natives with these primitive minds to just take it off and breathe fresh air.
Good luck. Brilliant. That's
Yeah.
a fantastic mission, and yeah, well done. Because and yeah, good luck. Because anyone that's still doing that, I'd have to say, why? Just what, because there's nothing being put out that this thing is still an issue. Not that it ever was an issue. So yeah, just curious. So yeah, Sicilian flu. Not heard of that one.
That's what you get with the mafia, isn't it? Is it concrete boots at the bottom of the river? I think that's Sicilian flu, isn't it?
Oh, right. Okay.
Sicilian flu. Now, I can't read this one out. White coats are mostly.
I agree. Art Sally. Absolutely.
Yes.
Sadly, but yes.
Yes, but
that's what they've become, and yeah.
White coat flu.
Oh, white coat flu. Oh, Sicilian flu. Right? Is that what? Okay.
Yes. Now
Sicilian flu. Okay.
You are what you eat. We've just had carrots and spring onions from the garden. He's the fella in the foreign country.
Yes. Okay.
With our dinner tonight, and I've got loads of good stuff coming into fruition. Yes.
Excellent.
I'm just wearing these teeth in for someone. By the way, between you and I, little gardening trick here. If you go along to your supermarket, now someone once said, walk into a supermarket as if you are a caveman. And there's nothing that's edible there. What's this metal thing? Tin? What's that? No, I can't eat that. There's very little that's edible, isn't it? But if you get their celery, cut the tops off and leave the root, cut a little bit off the root, I'll put it in water. It grows some little roots and sprouts, and I'll put it in my greenhouse. I've got loads of celery growing, and it grows organically. So it might not be organic that you get from the supermarket, but it grows organically. And I'll put my banana skin,
fertilizer. Yeah.
And wee sometimes.
Oh, okay.
I don't worry about it because it's up the top of the garden. I'm not worried about the flies up there. And it tastes delicious. It does. I've said that. You see, it stops people saying, "Can I have some celery, please?" Oh, you see, wee fertilizer. I'll eat that, you know.
No, celery is good. Lots of water in there, you know.
Or
But
it
I mean,
actually,
yeah.
pepper, it tastes nothing like what you get in the supermarket. It's proper organic stuff, you know. It's kind of like now it says here, hang on, what we got here? We got here, in the darkest depths of Mordor. Really? I think you can get ointment for that, can't you? My granny had that.
So
Yes.
what's is he referring to Norfolk by any chance? I hope not.
It might
Maybe.
be.
I don't know. I don't know. What's the
Oh, hang
darkest
on.
depth?
He's got very upset here. He said, I've told you before, Mr. Von Essex, it's Norfolk and good. Norfolk and good.
Very good.
I'm sorry, Christopher Gardner. Yes,
Norfolk
if
and
I
good.
come and visit you, will you, on my visa, will you cancel my visa because of that? You know, because now it says here, you can grow veg indoors if you don't have a garden. Yes, you can. Yes, that's right. Yes, and now
You probably need some decent light though.
yeah. Now I've read a good book by Margaret McCartney. Nothing to do with Paul McCartney, is it? Called The Patent Paradox. Patient Paradox.
Okay.
Which talked about this obsession with the industry have with screening. Yes, I haven't read the rest
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, quite a few people have written about that particular issue, and it's not necessarily the people who go into that industry. They don't have that mindset. It's that they're not out to create customers, but they are trained in a system that has that as the underlying ideology. I think really it's an ideology rather than idea. So yes, so that's the basic ideology, and that system then is an outcrop of that. So that they're working from that way to even though the people who work in it aren't trying to do that, they are following what they're trained and believing for the most part believing. But I think now there must be more people in that system who are recognizing there are problems, and I know there are some people who are staying in it so that they can try and do something from the inside, and good for you if you're trying to do that. I just think it's very difficult to try and save a rotten system that is just based on a false whatever it is. But I know they stay in there because they want to do what they can to help patients, because that's what they're there for, and I commend them at the same time. That system is just rotten to the core, because it's not about health. It's not about health.
I agree with you. 100% agree. I'll call it the magic roundabout. My parents, for example, were very healthy. They lived naturally. And once they started on the tablets, it goes spirals down, because one thing creates a problem for another thing. And it's a weird thing. You know, I'm noticing people now are getting pacemakers fitted more than ever before, and they have to go and have charged up every 3 months. I know a husband and wife that's both had pacemakers. Now, why would two of them want pacemakers fitted? Which they need to be charged up every 3 months. Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to me, I have to say. No.
Now, it says here, my daughter says some people have some ugly face bottoms, so should wear face nappies. But I'll tell you what I did during the lockdown. I mean, I guess you was the same. I never wore a mask. I just went around, and I was the only one walking around the shop, around the superstore, without a mask.
Too.
And whenever someone said anything, so you got a mask, sometimes I'd fake deafness. That's great. That's, pardon? Sorry? What? Have I got a what? It's really hysterical. Can you come a bit closer, please? I can't hear you. Thank you. There's a deaf old sod, you know. No. There was a bloke in Lidl. Could you stand back? Pardon, sorry, I can't hear you. Could you stand back? Sorry, can you come a bit closer? I can't quite hear what you're saying. What was that? Could I stand what? What? Sorry.
Crazy.
Yeah,
There's
oh,
less than that. I mean, there's well, I don't know. Maybe there is some of that still somewhere. I don't come across it, but no. I mean, at the beginning, I was the only one with a face in certain. I'm not going to give them any publicity, but yeah, in certain stores.
I know what you mean. Yes.
Crazy.
Yes.
And if people say, "Oh no, you've got to wear one to come in," and go, "Okay, well, you won't get my custom then."
Well,
Yeah.
the worst were the independent retailers. That's what got mine. Right? No mask, no entry. And I went to walk into a shop to buy some cotton. And I half opened the door, and I thought, I closed the door and I went out to the pound shop and got it for £1. Stuff you know. And the pound shop I went to, it was called One Below. Nobody wore a mask in there. It's brilliant. It was not even assistants. They're all sort of Eastern
That's
European.
interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and I was really pleased about that. That was near the end.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, but what I found it insulting with someone to sort of my culture is to see the person's face. I don't want to speak to somebody with this ugly mask around them. You know, it's. But we've got someone called Hello, Maureen. Maureen
Hello,
Waters.
Maureen.
Chris and Dawn.
Yes, going to see you soon.
I'm looking forward to having you and David Parker on Wednesday night.
Wednesday. Yeah, we'll see you soon. Yeah.
You're going up north.
Going up north. Yeah.
Have you got your passport with you? You know, you've got to sort of. Yeah, that's good. Yes, but I was it got understanding strange phones like aye, isn't it? That's one aye.
Well, yes, some of them have stronger accents, but yes, that's okay.
I'm only joking. There we got it. Was it? I'm pretty sure this is answer that male wee is different to female wee. I know that female dogs piddle leave brown patches on grass, but males don't. Can't say I've gone around specifically looking.
I haven't. No, I haven't come across that. I wonder if it might be. Well, no, actually, that shouldn't. Yeah, depending on their diet. I mean, that could. Is it hormonal? I don't know. I've not.
I know that
I've not studied that.
I know with compost, you've got to put male wee in it to start it off, not female, because I think it has something in it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but
okay.
I don't know. But I did. I put it in my compost heap, and it stunk horrible. So, but no, I put in, and I think I put too much in, and you know, the sort of. Yeah, I looked in there, and even the ants walking around like that.
Well, after a while, it does turn more into sort of ammonia.
I believe it's all down to pheromones.
I think that's pheromones.
Yes, I think that's pheromones.
I think that's pheromones. Yeah, yeah, could be. As I say, I've not actually studied that, but that would certainly make sense because there's something different. But again, I was wondering if probably whether it's diet related as well. Could be. But I don't know why. But I don't know why that would apply to male and female. So yeah, I mean, it must be something to do with the hormonal system, or again pheromones or whatever. So yeah.
I know that in the Vietnam War, the North Vietnamese were mainly vegetarian, and the Americans couldn't understand how they knew where they were when they went out on patrols, and how they knew is they could smell the Americans because they ate burgers. Seriously,
they could. Yes, yeah. Well, they could smell different. Yeah. Their sweat or whatever, they would smell different. Yeah.
Yes, I'll tell you something. If you have garlic at all, you can smell that coming out in your wee. That's quite common. It's getting really gross, isn't it? This show.
Yes, I was going to say the other one is
Udos.
No. I can't think of the vegetable. Brains are just anyway. Yeah.
Can I help you there? Let's have a think.
Yes.
Can't help you. Sorry, I don't know.
Asparagus.
Asparagus. Oh
Yes.
yes, and also beetroot. You think, oh my god, yes, because I eat beetroot. And little tip, you see, if you cook beetroot, it makes a net. It looks like a scene from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know, red everywhere. I buy it in these. I shouldn't really, in these packs. Stick it in a jar and put some apple cider vinegar over it. Mwah, tastes lovely. So you know, pick your own vinegar. Pick your own what do you call it? Beetroots. But my sister's got a phobia about beetroots. If you go over to her and you say, "Well, I haven't seen her for 14 years because I don't really get on with her," and you say beetroot, she'll almost throw up. She hates beetroots. And the other one is tinned strawberries. When she was a kid, we used to go over to my aunt and uncle's. She was always travel sick. We've got our favourite. She didn't want to tell her that she couldn't stand them. Got some tinned strawberries. Oh, she's a funny little girl. Why she's always been sick. She couldn't stand
Dear.
Mind you, still get tinned strawberries. I think you can. They look like
I've no idea, but fresh ones are so much better. I prefer fresh.
And proper organic ones, and not the rubbish you get. You know, right? Now we got here. It's Sean Hamer says it's a small vertical crease on the chin that looks like a little arse. Might be why there are so many beards around these days. Okay. No, don't get it. So it's probably in conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, and Caroline Murphy said most probably hormones are different.
Yeah, both male and female. Yeah, must be something to do with. But I've not heard that female dogweed will make turn the grass brown. Don't know. I don't have pets, so I don't. I don't know about these things. That's not because I don't love animals. I do love animals. It's just I don't have pets.
Well, I got Boris the spider, so he's there. Oh, mate, yeah, he's up there. He's watching the show, so that's it. So we got one keen watch, and also I speak to my plants. Fred the plant, he's here. He's having an affair, I think, because there's loads of little spider plants.
Oh, okay. Yes, they can do that. Yes, mine are starting to grow, although I think mine need feeding. But anyway.
Right, we've got here strange time in history. Hell's gone on. He's a wrong one. No, can't get that one right. It's probably in conversation with somebody else. And Mo.
You. Yes.
She can't wait.
Yes.
Up north. That's good, isn't it? Good. No, sorry. That's a bit Yorkshire, that is, isn't it? Yeah,
that is. No. Yeah, Newcastle's a bit further north.
Yes, Newcastle. It started at 10, so I guess the earlier you get there, the better. What did? I'm okay, Chris, struggling with energy levels, but other than that, I'm all good, thanks. How are you coping? Ma, yes. Well, not many people know that. Now, regarding kitchen growing plants in your house, okay.
Oh, yes, plenty of light. Yeah.
Window, so plenty of light.
Yeah, because I said if you're growing plants indoors, you would need light. So so if you've got a bay window, I mean that would bring in loads of light.
Yes, so that's we're just having a quick look here, and yes, I think there's a load to read out, and I don't think we can do them all, but I think that hang on, how do I right? I actually do believe, though, that your body your mind controls your body. And my mother, she went to one of these kind of faith healing things when she was a teenager, and my late mother. And she saw this lovely old man, his sort of silver hair, very old. And she was, I think, she, I don't know, about 14, I think. And that time you'd be all over the place, you know where you are. And he put his hand on her hand. He said, "My dear," he said, "the body works from the mind. Just remember that." And she always said that, the body works from the mind. And I believe that the cures are in the ground, all around us, they're growing around us. And it's strange that people that they've found that live near volcanoes live the longest because the soil, believe it or
Okay.
not. And also people that live next to waterfalls and in forests and jungles live the longest. If they're not if they're in a jungle, if they're not eaten by, because if you're in a jungle, you're part of the food chain. So if you're not eaten by something, you know, you live for a long time. What I don't like about jungles is there's a South African saying that says, "For every one pair of eyes you can see, there's 20 you can't see." So as you're walking along, there's something looking at you. There's 20 that's looking at you, thinking, din dins.
Possibly, but yeah, I mean, you know, humans also see animals in the same way, so I don't know, but yeah, I mean, yes, being near water and certainly waterfalls, fresh water like that. I mean, yes, that would be very, very invigorating, healthy, and again, water. You know, good water is just so important. There's so much more now in water. I mean, okay, we were talking about clean water, but again, there's so much more to water, and it's more than just something that hydrates us. And if anyone isn't aware of the work of Veda Austin, I'd certainly recommend looking into that, because she is just an amazing lady with the work that she's doing and finding out that there's so much more to water. So again, if you can get access to fresh to spring water that is, you know, just comes out of the ground clean, it's not contaminated, there's just something magical about it. So that's why we love water. And again, you know, being in the sea, we're kind of drawn to the seaside, even if it is a bit, you know, dubious in certain parts of the world, but it's all certain parts of this and certain parts of this country as well. So yeah, I mean, there are some parts that you wouldn't want to actually go into the water, but you know, in that strange country called Norfolk, you know, there's that North Norfolk coast, which is just phenomenal. It's wonderful up there. It's just, you can't believe how amazingly huge just that spread of beach and sea. But again, it's, you know, it can be a bit chilly, but it's still, again, it's the draw to water and the draw to nature. So again, the forest, like you were saying, the sort of forests and the jungles, and you know, there's the draw to nature, because we are, you know, we are very much connected to nature. You know, we're not separate from it. And you know, when you are more in tune with kind of, you know, your instincts and your intuition, you're more drawn to nature. You feel so much better in nature, because you just connected to the energy of it, which is taking it full circle back to where you started with the, you know, the energy and the healing of everything. So yeah, it's fascinating, and there's still loads to learn, because we've been taught the wrong way. So now we're just learning what's new. So you go, oh, okay, let's have a look at this.
Well, I think we need to. I mean, I can't stand cities. I've got this phobia about cities. I used to work in London, but I just can't stand built-up areas. And where I live now, it's getting very built up. I'm not liking it at all. And I think they're going to have to knock down a lot of the cities and rebuild it with beauty and nature in it. Because I don't know. I don't like London. I don't like London parks. It's all sort of artificial. I just can't. And while I'm there, I just want to get away from it. That's all I want to do. Just leg it. And but talking about the coast, do you want to hear a true but dirty, well, bit smutty story about the coast?
Go on.
Well,
that's all right.
Yeah,
I'm grown up. I can take it.
When I was a little boy, my mummy and daddy used to take me to Southend, you see. And you know, Southend, they call it Southend on Sea, but it's really at the river mouth of the Thames, really. And even it's salt water there. Well, what used to happen is the ships that would come out of Tilbury would come out, and they used to flush their bilge tanks and things, and flush their tanks. And if they got it wrong, and I'm going back a few years. I mean, when I was a kid, Queen Victoria, was on the throne, that type of thing. And the what was come out their bilge tanks used to end up on the shore, you see. And I was there with my bucket and spade. Mummy, you see, and there's lots of news about Portuguese men of war, jellyfish.
Oh yeah.
It's often turn up. Jellyfish, oh, jellyfish, you see. Get away from there, get away. Look at the jellyfish. So I went over there, and she dragged me out the way. Bash, get out of the way of there. No, jellyfish. You see, and I thought, why was she so arrogant about me not going anywhere near these jellyfish? Because being quite an inquisitive child, I want to look at these pretty jellyfish that are floating up. Because they're obviously dead, so they couldn't harm me. I just wanted to look with my bucket and spade. I've never seen a jellyfish, and why did my mummy drag me away from seeing something that I could tell people I've seen a jellyfish? It wasn't until many years later that I found out they weren't jellyfish. They were gold tops that obviously come out of the ships. I got to see the jellyfish. I wanted the safe one to bring it home to show people. Can you imagine the embarrassment? Yes, I was a very innocent child. No, I was only about 6 or 5 at the time.
Well, yeah. So that's like not innocent. That's just being a child. Yeah. I was like, you don't know until you know.
No, actually, but, I was also, why was she so angry with me? Just want to look at the pretty jellyfish. Well done. On that note,
yes,
really exciting. I really enjoyed this evening, and please come back again. Too. I mean, can I tempt you with some of my celery or something like that, or more? I promise not to sell the naughty vicar joke. Well, it's constipated vicar joke. I won't crack that gag. I promise that. That is. I'll be down for that one.
That's all right. I'm not that easily offended, and I'm not that I'm not that delicate.
You should read the Fockham Hall Times. That's on Fockham Hall Radio. That's it's got award-winning journalism in that. I awarded it, and I'm not a journalist.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
I'm not conceited. I'm absolutely perfect, But
of course, we all are.
Well, before I go, there's a book that you need to plug, isn't there?
Oh, there is. Yes.
Have you got it handy?
Well, I just so happen to have one nearby.
Excellent.
Whoops.
Can
yes, there you
go. Copy? Can you get a signed copy from you and things like that? I think Miles.
No, we don't sell them directly. No, it doesn't work that way, I'm afraid. So, but I mean, people can order them online.
Okay. Amazon.
Amazon. Yes, I know a lot of people don't like it, but it helps get the word out there. People can find it on there. It is available on other online booksellers, I think.
And what is it again? It's what really makes you
ill. Okay. Whoops. Why everything you thought you knew about disease is wrong. Whoops. Mm-hmm. And there's a picture of the thinker statue on the front.
I thought it was Tony Blair. Sorry, because
No, I know. No. Well, yes, we didn't want to actually. We didn't want to put people off. Because if we had that, it would put people off. So no, I mean the point is really that we're encouraging people to look into things, think for themselves, and to help them make it to provide them with the information so they can make informed decisions, because they're only given half the story. So there's the information that gives them the rest of the story, and we're not telling people what to do. It's just, well, there's the information, and make an informed decision about what about what you want to do.
Spot on.
But the information's in there, because as you can see, it's quite small. It's a quick read.
Isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost 800 pages. So, it's, you can read it in a couple of nights.
Excellent. And we've got here, what is it now? We got thanks both for a great show. Thanks all in chat. Hope to catch you all again next week. Stay strong. Loads of love. And Haji has said, food is the thing that supplies the brain. My body is my temple.
Yeah, treat it as a temple and then you'll look after it.
All bottled water in the Houses of Parliament are from a pure spring, but isn't marketed to us commoners.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
That doesn't surprise me at all. And you see, Hertfordshire is noted, where I live in Brosford, it's noted for springs. But I don't know of any natural springs around here where you can actually get the water. So if anybody does know, please tell me. I think the nearest one is we're in, I don't know of any in Hertfordshire, do you?
I don't know, but I would also, if there are, I would urge people to be very careful and to have a look into it properly, because of all the farmland that's around here. So there could be all kinds of toxic runoff from farms, because they use a lot of chemicals in their fertilizer. So just because it's spring water, it doesn't necessarily mean it's clean, because you need to check what the source is, where it is, and whether there's anything that's around it that could contaminate it. And I mean contaminate it with chemicals, not the invisible enemies, because they aren't enemies. So that's the one thing, because they want to deflect attention away from the chemicals so that we concentrate on the scary invisible enemies that aren't enemies. So if we kind of go, well, we'll ignore that, so we'll then have a look at what's real. Definitely laughter. Yes, because that was a Norman Cousins' Anatomy of an Illness, that he healed himself from, well, I mean, not necessarily 100%, but he healed himself quite significantly from a very serious chronic condition through laughing. And he just watched all kinds of comedies and he just laughed. And again, but I mean, laughter, joy, playfulness, it comes into it. But as you say, the comedy is not very funny anymore. You have to go back, because I mean, I remember, I don't have a television, so it's been a long time, but I remember, growing up, the things that were funny, clever funny, but not now. Although I don't have a television, so I don't watch. If I want to laugh, sometimes I watch some George Carlin on
George Carlin, Dave Allen.
Dave Allen. Okay, yeah, genius. True.
But George Carlin
it's just very clever, and it's just, I think, more poignant for the times. But I mean, that kind of thing is what I mean. You have to go back to something else. But if somebody,
it's hysterical, isn't it?
About religion.
Yeah, what he says, you got this good, all-powerful being, but it just can't handle money. That's the problem. And he said, we're okay here, but we just need more money. That's all. Yes.
With these religious, especially in America, with these religious leaders, they have their churches, and so yes.
I mean, I don't make myself. I'm not religious, but it's for other people to judge. But I like to believe I'm spiritual. I like to believe very high into spirituality in that. But on that note, before we go, do you want to hear Carl Schwab gag? Shall we go
on then?
Carl Schwab, you haven't seen him for a long time, you see, and he went to the doctor, you see, and he said, "I'm getting very worried. I'm worried about the people eating the bugs and the children, and this mess idea we've got of getting rid of the population." He said, "Oh, Dr. Dear," he said, "You're the world's leading psychopath, and we don't like to hear this." He said, "You've got it bad, haven't you?" He said, "You're caring for people." "Oh, yes, I've got a conscience. I'm waking up, giving me nightmares." We said, "Look, take this medicine." He said, "Come back when you've finished it." So anyway, he takes the medicine. He comes back to the doctor, and he said, "Oh, doctor, cured now. I'm marvelous. I can't wait to get these bugs printed, and when you can print your own food, and marvelous. He said, "Is anyone trouble?" He said, "What's that?" He said, "Tasted like shit." I said, "It was shit. You just needed topping up a bit. That's all." So there we go. And on that one.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining me tonight, Dawn. And I hope we can get you back again with these terrible gags. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Please come back.
Yes, I will do another. Yes, just we'll sort something out.
Yeah, please stay on, because afterwards we're going to do the outros. And always remember, we'll be here next week. And what's coming up is the D-Day specials from an alternative viewpoint, not political, but from an alternative viewpoint. And there'll be a special show going out, a recorded show of my late father speaking at 6:30 on the 6th of June. Now, you might think that's a bit of a weird time for it to go out, but there'll be a live chat room at that time. It's going to be repeated at 6 o'clock on the same day later on. And that's the time when his landing craft hit the beach. And he was a very reluctant conscript, I can tell you. And he wasn't your average conscript. Shall we say, a little bit like David Icke before his time.
Interesting.
Anyway, thank you very much for joining me tonight.
Thank you.
And whatever happens, remember, have a laugh and good night.
Absolutely. Yeah.